Saturday, November 27th, 2021. It's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year, College Football Saturday, and it's my favorite Saturday of the year. It is rivalry week in college football. These are the ones that make us fans of the game. These are the ones that separate the fans from the bandwagon jumpers and the everything else. These are the ones where, we live and die these games. These are the ones where we kind of leave it all on the table. For my Hurricanes, we already had our game, our Florida State game. We lost, and it's going to be a tough year for us. But, for a lot of these other teams, this is pretty much their season. I always say, for me, it's I take 1-11 as long as the one win is against the right team. I'll take it any day of the week, and I think our whole fan base would. It's like as long as our one win is Florida State, we'll take it. It's like, or if it's a year we play Notre Dame, if it's Notre Dame, we'll take it. It's like that's pretty much the way that it works. So, anyways.
It's going to be a great day of football, Mitch. I hope you're ready.
Yep. Got a nice jerk.
I've got some great guests on today. I can't wait to hear what everyone has to think on these games. So you still got leftover turkey you're going to enjoy watching them?
Yeah, I still got leftover turkey. We got everything. We have turkey and all the trimmings still left over after yesterday. The full plate, seconds again. So that's what happens when you have the two-person Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Any pie left, though? That's the question.
Yeah, there's still pie left, too. We got the full-size pie, 2 people.
I would have bet that would have been the first thing to go.
Yep. Like to.
Mitch, which game are you most excited for today? Which rivalry?
I think I like them. I like them all. I mean, like I said, my team's not in any of these big rivalry games, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for us. But I think the Ohio State, Michigan. I think everyone's looking forward to that one. Auburn, Alabama, always. I like Purdue again, and Indiana. I love the last minutes of the Purdue, Indiana, and Minnesota, Wisconsin. 2 of the best moments in all of college sports as they count down the clock there. The score could be 55-0, or it could be, 55-54 or 13, 12 or 13-10. And, you see the players lined up like they're ready to just do a sprint. And as the clock hits 0 and they take off and, they grab the axe and, just start going crazy. It's just awesome. That it's like that these same traditions have been going on for 100 years. Guys 100 years ago that are long since dead, hoisted the bucket and, swung the axe and did all these, really cool things. And, it's what makes college football a different game, is that these guys really care. It's like they really, really care. It's like a lot of these kids, they grew up that this was the game they wanted to play in. They wanted to play in the Ohio State-Michigan game. Today's their day, This is what they've built their entire life, Every bit of training, every meal they've eaten, everything has pointed to this game today. And it's like, it's what makes it different than the NFL. It makes it different than any other sport. And it is exciting. I'm way excited about it. Over the top, because like I said, it's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year, and this is my favorite day of my favorite. This is the holy grail. This is, and we're gonna bring in Damian Sosh, and I think he is also on the same level of college football fan that I am. Where we're just over the top about it, and he understands it. It's like I think either you get it or you don't. And it's like, Damian. Welcome.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, college football is just the absolute best. And like you said, either get it or you don't. When every game is basically your season, we touched on it last week. It's just awesome. Like you mentioned, all the little nuances, the traditions. Like Notre Dame's playing Stanford today for the Legends Trophy. It's not as popular as, like the Axe, like you mentioned, and all the other ones. But, every little game probably has some little type of tidbit in there. The history behind it's the best. It's simply the best.
Yeah, it's just like these guys really care. And it's like, you see the big upsets. You see them, it's not just to play spoiler or anything like that. These are the games, these are the days where coaches get fired over these games. These are the games where coaches extend their careers, just off of these games. It's like, I know at Miami, Manny Diaz has not had the best run, but he had beaten Florida State up until this year. He lost to Florida State. He's gone. I mean, it's like, you're fired. There's no like, oh, well, they played a good year and they had this, this guy got hurt and whatever. It's like, no, it's like, you're gone. And I think, Notre Dame, as big as that game is for them, I could see this game for Notre Dame. This is a mini playoff for them too, because they will have an argument. If Alabama loses to Georgia, they will have an argument to get in. No doubt about it.
Right. Definitely. It's a great slew of games. And like you said, they're going to have an argument to get in. Hopefully, I'd really hate to see a 2-loss Alabama team get in there. So as a Notre Dame fan, I got to hope Georgia whoops them, or else the top 4 might already be set.
I don't think so. There's never been a 2-loss team taken over a 1-loss team in this.
Right.
And I think when you look at the body of work, for Notre Dame, and, I'm about as far away from a Notre Dame fan as you can get. When you look at the body of work, the resume is there. They have the same wins that Ohio. They have the same record, they have the same wins, and they have a better loss than Ohio State does. Right. So they have, they have the win over Wisconsin, they have, and it wasn't a close game, and it wasn't like, oh, they squeaked by and, oh, it was a great game. If they play it again, it could go the other way. No, they beat the crap out of them. I mean, if it would have gone on another half hour, if there would have been another half to play, it would have just been another 60 points. Because they had figured it out, right? And they pulled the top off, and they were it was just basically score as many points as you feel like scoring.
And that was with the kid that they brought in. That was basically their third-string quarterback, Drew Pine, that had done the damage to them. He's a good player, definitely, but he was you got Cohn, Buckner was hurt that game, and Pine came in and played great.
They were handled at home by Cincinnati, and it's tough to say, but you look at the rankings and you look at the quality of opponent there, you have to say that Cincinnati is ranked 2, 3 in the country, depending on what you're listening to. So that would be considered an acceptable loss, while Oregon is now a 2-time loser, right, losing to one unranked team that doesn't even have a winning record, and then and this is who Ohio State got trounced by. I mean, it was a 7-point game in the end, but it was never close. It was a one-sided game all the way. I mean, they had no answers. And it was home too. But what do you got for us today going on?
Yeah. Well, today, we touched on Notre Dame. As you know, I'm a big Notre Dame fan, and this is not a homer play, but I really like Notre Dame here to cover the spread against Stanford. It's hard to believe that Stanford actually beat Oregon way back there in October. I think it was October 2nd, I believe. Since then, man, they've really just gone downhill. Notre Dame's coming in this game 10-1, Stanford just 3-8. As I mentioned, 2 teams going in totally opposite directions here. Stanford has lost their last 6 games in a row, all to Pac-12 opponents, by an average score of 35-14. Meanwhile, Notre Dame's beaten their last 3 opponents by a combined score of 117-9. Out of 100 FBS teams, Stanford is in the bottom 25 of just about every important statistical category. And we're talking rushing offense, total offense, scoring offense, rushing defense, total defense. I mean, they're just bad. The Irish, they totally controlled last week's game against Georgia Tech. I fully expect them to do the same today. I know it's a big number, and I know it's a heavy public favorite, but I like Notre Dame to cover that right now, 20.5-point spread. It might climb by the time kickoff comes around, but I like them to cover that big number.
Joe, it's been a regression for Stanford since that Oregon win. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm completely with Damien on this one. I think Notre Dame comes out and just flattens them on this. I think the defense is going to be the difference. We have Notre Dame's offense averaging 34 points per game versus a Stanford team that's 24 points per game. But the defense really is the difference here. Notre Dame's defense has not allowed a touchdown in the last 3 games, held teams to an average of 18 points per game. And Stanford is at 31 points per game. I don't think they're going to be able to do very much today against Notre Dame.
Gotta love Joe's pronunciation there. It makes it sound a lot less like a whorehouse. But, the thing is that, the thing is it is. But besides that, it's just, my objective opinion. But anyways, I think Notre Dame here all the way as well. Stanford's just been in a pure regression mode. As good a teams as he's had there at Stanford, David Shaw, this is really, I got to think that maybe he's on the hot seat here for this team. His quarterback play has been terrible. It was supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks in the nation, and this guy has not come through for them. And, Stanford, this has always been one of those teams that gets it right academically and gets it right on and athletically. I mean, look at all the great players that have come through here in every sport. Tiger Woods went to Stanford, right, for a year, and but not this year. They don't have this guy's not Andrew Luck, and this is not they don't have McCaffrey or any of those guys either. So this just doesn't look like a team that has it. And Brian Kelly, we know that historically he's not a guy that takes his foot off the gas. He's not one of these. You don't see him play the position game for the late field goal, right? He's not that guy. He throws deep over the top. That's his game, and he's going to always ride it out. And I've always liked him for that reason. I hate the coaches that play that. Like, let's run the clock, make them burn their timeouts, and so we can miss a field goal. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, this is also going to be Notre Dame's last time to impress the playoff committee. They don't have a conference championship game or any of that. So this is going to be the last time that people get to see them play. It's on prime time, 8 o'clock game, 8 o'clock kickoff. It's on prime time. It's going to be the last time that they get to see them play before. So, everybody else is going to play another game. It's going to be a few weeks, and they got to make an imprint. They got to be like, hey, look at what they did. So this is the last chance, and they got to come out and they got to crush them. It can't be close. 20-point win won't be acceptable. They need to absolutely hammer them.
Unfortunately for Notre Dame, the thing is that most people are looking at that Cincinnati game, which is a very public loss, and not looking at that Wisconsin game, which they just absolutely crushed them. So I think that's part of the problem that they have. They look at their close wins. They don't look at the Ohio State Tulsa game. Because the media has buried these things,
Right.
Ohio State looked terrible against Tulsa.
Yeah.
What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Well, today, actually, Notre Dame is one of my premium plays. I don't have it for sale yet. I'm going to put it for sale after the show because I wanted anybody to get the opportunity here to watch. That watches the show. You get one of my you get a free premium play from me today. So that's one of my premium plays. I've got a college football 3-pack for sale. Notre Dame is not included in that 3-pack. So if you get that 3-pack, you get my other 3 top college football plays. And I have a college hoops play out there today. We're doing pretty well in college hoops. I had a little bit of a step back yesterday, but we're going to bounce back today. I've got one play that I really like in college hoops. That's going to be a winner for you guys today. So, jump on board, 3-7, 30-day pass. Like you mentioned, championship week next week. And just a whole bunch of great stuff going on right now, guys. So head on over there. A lot of great cappers on the site. Check me out. Check everybody out, and do yourself a favor, pick up a plan and make some money.
Yeah, we've got bowl season on the way as well, so always a great time to grab the long term. But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for Championship Saturday. And
all right, guys, thank you, and have a good weekend here. Make some money.
Best of luck. Enjoy these games.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Damian, one of many cappers that'll be with us today and tomorrow. Our weekend shows, we feature, whatever cappers that are on the site that want to come on. We don't really have any restrictions on it, not too much. And, the thing is we're going to have 2 new cappers. One will come from Instagram. One will come from Twitter. I know I've already heard I don't do social media or whatever. Well, you're not going to be on our website then, So, I don't really know what more we can do, It's like, but I'm a great picker. I'm the person you want. Well, not if you're not on Twitter and Instagram. You're not our person then. If you're not willing to do that, then it's unlikely you're going to be able to work with me. So, it's, I mean, that's really not, I don't think that's really asking too much.
No, absolutely. It's not asking too much, Mitch, but I'm excited. We've got tons of people entering the contest. More numbers will be coming out for Instagram today. I'm going to have to check if the lists are updated, but I'm pretty sure we'll have some more numbers for you guys on Twitter as well.
I'm really excited about it. And I love doing these shows and having people on. So those that
Yep.
wonder what we'll be doing with the show, as college football starts to wind down, we'll just move on to multi-sport, but we're going to keep this format on Saturdays and Sundays going forward for the foreseeable future. We have changes on our weekday shows, and we'll talk about those at some other point. But we're going to split the gang out. I'm going to do my own show in the morning. Going to be a quick kind of interaction show like I used to do with you guys, mostly just answering your questions, giving out picks and updates, and then Joe and Brian are going to do a show. So we'll have other shows too. We have a soccer show coming. If you guys haven't checked out our new soccer videos that we started, I hosted for one set. Ruffalo hosted for one set. I hosted for one set. Joe's going to host some of them, and eventually it'll just be Ashley and Goran, and they're fantastic because the nice thing about them is that they're like semi-polite to one another, but they really don't agree on much. So it's like, it's one of those, it's a good thing, and they're both pretty strong opinionated. It's kind of like the backhanded compliment,
Oh, I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah, they're really good, and I think over time they're only going to get better. We've always covered soccer, football, however you want to call it, but we've never really gone in with both feet. It's the only sport we've never really done. Everything else we go over the top with, and it's like, so I think it's just time, and I think we have the right people to do it. So I'm excited about it. But we have Shane Mickle will be our next guest here. Just got to find his little name tag, which is, I have everything in order this week. So that was one of my homework assignments, was to put everybody's names so I could find them, because every week I'm fumbling around here. It took me 12 weeks, but I fumbled around. I found it. Shane's got his Kansas shirt on. Losers yesterday against Dayton, and well, it hasn't been the best football season for you, for the Jayhawk fans.
It has.
You wear that on Axe Day?
Yeah, I know. I'm probably making a mistake here, but the Gopher shirt is in the laundry, so we get Kansas today.
All right. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. What do you have cooking for
That's
us?
right. Today we got a play actually on an ACC or an SEC game. This Vanderbilt Tennessee game. Not one of the marquee matchups on the site, or for college football Saturday. But I still think there's some value here with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt played Ole Miss tough last week. They really look like they have something here with this Mike White under center. He played well, and then also the defense really stepped up in the second half, and that really gave me some really gives me some confidence heading in this week that they can slow down the fast pace of Tennessee, who likes to play the same pace as Ole Miss. And I'm not like a super huge trends guy, but all the trends in this game stick to Vanderbilt. The Commodores are 4-1 in their last 5 games overall. And then if you look at head-to-head, the Commodores are 6-2 in their last 8 meetings in Tennessee, and they're 4-1 in the last 5 meetings overall against Tennessee. I still think they lose by 20, 25 points, but this 31 is way too much. I'm going to take Vanderbilt getting the points.
Joe?
I hate this spread. It's so many points, but I can't get behind Vanderbilt. I think they get absolutely destroyed today. I know their defense stepped up in that last game, but their defense is terrible. I can't get behind them. I think Tennessee dominates on all sides of this ball and just runs away with this one in a big fashion. I don't even know if Vanderbilt will get over 10 points on the board today.
Yep, Vandy is terrible. We lost. Did we lose Shane? No, we got him there. It's just on the preview. I see Al there. It's weird. Okay, it's on the preview screen. So strange. Yeah, Vandy sucks. I mean, they're terrible in Tennessee. They love to run the score up on teams. I don't know. Vandy has played Tennessee, though, very, very tough over the years. It's just such a tough one. I might have to Ruffalo this thing.
I think one other key for Tennessee is their top running back also just transferred out this week, or put his name in the transfer portal. So that's a big loss to this offense.
It seems that happens every year at Tennessee. The Vols, I think they made some steps forward this year. Vandy's been so bad. They're so bad. They lost to Stanford too. It's like, we just talked about how bad Stanford was with Damian. They lost to them. I think one of my biggest memories from this college football season was that first play in the Vandy-Georgia game where Vandy handed off to the running back and the Georgia defensive line was standing right there, 6 yards in the backfield. I don't know. It's maybe I don't think Tennessee has anything like that in store for them, but oh man, Tennessee, it just seems that it's either they win big or they don't win at all.
Yeah.
So maybe Vandy money line, Tennessee spread.
Yeah, that would be a nice payout if that somehow hit. But yeah, that would be asking a real lot.
Yeah, but it could happen. I mean, today's the day, for these type of games.
For sure.
What do you got for sale at Pick Dogs?
I got a couple different packages. I really love this. I got my college football game of the month, the Michigan Ohio State game. I've got that individually or in a 5-pack. The 5-pack is $34.95. Or I also have a 5-pack that's 3 college football, 2 NBA. It includes that big Michigan Ohio State winner. Or if you're looking for some college basketball, don't forget about college basketball. Even though this is a big college football slate, there's still some good college basketball on the board. I got a 3-pack of that. Or you can get on something long term. Get all my plays for today that are up there.
Yeah, we're big. We're big on the college hoops too. We certainly won't shy away from it.
Yeah, it's not.
Go ahead.
It's not as strong a slate as it was, the last couple of days, but there's still, some good games on the slate.
Well, when you have Gonzaga, Duke, Gonzaga, UCLA, Baylor, Michigan State, Auburn, Syracuse, Auburn, UConn, it's tough to match up to that, every single day, especially non-conference play. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to thin out a little bit, and then we'll get into conference play, right after the holidays, after Christmas. So, plenty of college hoops left. And, of course, we'll be here to cover it all the way through March Madness as we do every single year. So I'm excited for it. But thanks for joining us, Shane, and good luck today.
Sounds good. See you guys tomorrow.
Best luck, Shane.
Shane Mickle. So how many entries do we have in our Become a Capper contest, Joe, do you think?
Over the 100 mark on both sites, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I would guess off the top of my head, we probably have about 250 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I have not been keeping track. I have been just buried, and I've had my head in the sand. Joe and Rod have kind of been running the whole thing, so I'm excited to see it. And last year I was really surprised at how well everybody did, because I know a lot of people talk a big game, but I was surprised about how well everybody did. This year is going to be interesting. I think any idea like how many units you think how many units is going to win it? I'm going to say that up 1,700 units it's going to take.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Probably right around there. That would be a good benchmark. I'm sure it will hit.
I think that would be a pretty solid month, and it's a great month to do it, because by this time next Saturday we'll already be a few days into the contest, and people will be putting their bets in for Championship Saturday, getting ready for NFL Sunday. Thursday Night Football will have already passed, and the contest will be underway. So if you're considering entering, the time to enter is now, not at the last second, because it's like if you enter at the last second, I haven't put it in the rules yet, but basically you can enter late, up to 5 days late, but every day that you're late entering, you're minus 100 for each day. Isn't that what we decided? So it's like you'll be 500 units down. And if you're more than 2,000 units out of the lead, then you're automatically eliminated from the contest. So, you could start, the leader could already be up, 500, 600 units. You could already be almost halfway, out the door.
Absolutely.
Just because you didn't enter, today.
Yeah. We've got a couple more days left here so that you're not getting penalized. So
I've been saying it in the videos, and that's really, I don't have as much time to say it, but that's what I mean. It's like, don't wait till the last second, because I mean, I'll tell you, you want to deal with Rod trying to push him to get your entry in at the last second. Have fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Rod is updating those spreadsheets, guys, and once those spreadsheets are updated, I'm putting those posts. So
I talked to the guy after Steak Friday. He can be in a bad mood sometimes. I can only imagine he's going to be on opening contest day.
Yeah.
We'll let Brian act as a go-between on that day for us. But
good plan.
Got see, Al McMorty is here. Usually like to bring him on. Let's see what we got. And action. Morning, Al. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing? Hopefully my Wolverines will win today.
No. You see my jersey?
I don't. I've got the odd screen on.
I got my Buckeyes jersey on.
This could be one of the best chances that they've had, because I just think their defense is so much better than Ohio State's. But we'll have to see how it plays out on the field. But I do believe that this might be their best chance that they have, and I think if Jim Harbaugh can't win today, he's never going to beat them.
That's probably true. It's probably true.
I think Ohio State's one of the more we've seen overrated Ohio State teams throughout the years, and this one ranks with right up there with those overrated ones. With the one that, to me, the most overrated Ohio State team was, well, there's been two of them. The Craig Krenzel team that lost to Kansas State in, I believe it was the Cotton Bowl. It might have been the Alamo Bowl, one of those bowls, where Darren Sproles ran for about 700 yards on them. And then they had the other overrated team that played in the playoff and lost to Clemson 23-0. But I think this team is about in that category. I think they have some good wide receivers, and that's about it.
Well, we shall see, but I want to talk about one under the radar game first. Arkansas State is hosting Texas State. It goes at 2 p.m. Eastern today. And I'm going to look at the over under here. The Red Wolves have played the last 6 under the total. For their part, the Bobcats have played 4 out of the last 5 under the total, and then 4 out of the last 5 in this series have gone under the total. So I guess you guys probably know what's coming. I'm going to take this over the total. It's a contrarian play. And when you take a look at how college football teams do when they've played 6 or more in a row under the total, they've gone over the total 59 out of 99, so about 60%. So I like the over. The number opened at 61. It's ticked up a little bit to 62. I think the value is on the over.
Joe, Arkansas State and Texas State, the Red Wolves, Butch Jones just doesn't look like the guy who was coaching at Cincinnati, but they've had their moments this year. They did beat Monroe.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be such a battle today. I really do think this is going to be a high-scoring game along with Al as well. And I think it's going to come down to last possession. So I think the best way to take this definitely is taking that over.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. It's not necessarily a play on the offense. It's more of a play on the defenses here. They're just so bad. Arkansas State's just a sieve. I'm with you. It's certainly not a game that was on my radar, but I can see where you're going with it.
I don't think it's on anyone's radar.
Today's an odd day because there are a few games in that 12 o'clock Eastern time start, but they really are dwarfed by that Michigan-Ohio State game. It's not like they have another big game against it. The biggest game against it is probably the Baylor-Texas Tech game. Well, I guess it depends on where you live, where you went to school.
Right.
But
so the second game I wanted to take a look at, I'm going to take a look at a side in the Notre Dame-Stanford matchup. And here you've got two teams going in completely opposite directions. Notre Dame has won and covered its last 6 in a row. Meanwhile, the Stanford Cardinal have lost and failed to cover their last 6 in a row. And then Notre Dame's defense, of course, has given up 0, 3, and 6 points in each of the last 3 games. So, you've got one team extremely hot, the other team extremely cold. Notre Dame, of course, needs to win to try to, stay in the hunt for the playoffs. The line opened 17. It's up to 20.5 already. So all the money's flying on Notre Dame. I like Stanford in this ball game for similar reasons to what we just talked about with the over-unders. When you get in college football, when you get a team that's covered 5 in a row or more against another team that's failed to cover 5 in a row or more, not surprisingly, going back, I think, to 1999, it's a very, very small sample size, but still 16 out of the 22 times the ice cold team has covered the spread. The last time it happened was 2019. I don't know if you remember the game, Mitch. It was Northwestern versus Illinois. In that game, I think Illinois had won and covered 6 in a row, or at least covered 6 in a row. Northwestern had lost 6 in a row, and then Northwestern upset them 29-10.
Did they play that at Wrigley?
I think,
was that at Wrigley Field they played that game? Might have been.
I think so.
And they every play had to go in the same direction because the end zone was too short on one side, so they had to, every time they had the ball, they had to switch everybody around and go the other way. That might have been that game.
That might have been that game.
The odd thing was, when they removed the grass from Wrigley Field and when they changed out the turf, they found an old goalpost from way back when the Bears played that was stuck in the ground. It's man, could have really hurt somebody. But anyway.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the ice cold team here and go with Stanford and go completely against the grain.
Joe, I'm on Notre Dame here. How about you?
Yeah, I am too. I really just think the defense is going to be the difference here. I'm worried about Stanford even being able to score. Another thing I was just trying to look up, if anyone knows it off the top of the head, Notre Dame's team total, because I think that is probably another safe way to take this one. I don't like the over 52.5 just because I really do not know what Stanford's going to do, how they're going to come out, and if they can even score on this Notre Dame team. So I'd be looking at the Notre Dame team total too. I just can't find it off the top of my head. What time slot is that in again?
8 o'clock.
That's 8 p.m. Eastern.
My book is terrible listing stuff. It doesn't give me the times they start.
8 Eastern, but it definitely sounds, Notre Dame definitely sounds less like a whorehouse when Joe says it, but I just think that
Notre Dame.
Yes, it sounds little less sleazy than we know it to be.
I can remember my grandma saying Notre Dame all the time, talking about her travels. So.
Yeah, I also took a look at how teams do when they've held their last 3 opponents to 6 points or less, as Notre Dame has done, and it's soft, but those teams have gone 28 and 36 ATS. So underwater teams playing great defense 3 games in a row.
I just have no faith in the Stanford team. Believe me, I would love to see him come in here and smack them. But when you lose 41-11 to Cal in your big rivalry game, it's bad. And 35-14 Oregon State, 52-7 to Utah.
Yeah.
You lose to Washington, Washington State, Arizona State. The last time you were competitive, you beat Oregon, lost to UCLA. Oh man. Beat Vandy. I had them in that game against Vandy.
I had Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So way too much juice on the Notre Dame team total over 34.5 is -172. So
I like it. I would go
too
higher.
much juice for
I
me.
like over 40. I think they run it up.
You can adjust that line.
Well, they have to. I mean, they need it to get into the playoff. Any shot, they need to dress it up. But, I mean, need it and do it and all that other stuff. Brian Kelly's not a take the foot off the gas guy. He's not a sportsmanship coach. He's just not. I hate the coaches that play the field position in a timeout to try and set up that losing field goal that the guy misses. I just hate that. It's like, those are you never see the great coaches do that. You only see the guys that get fired do that. You never see, Nick Saban setting up for the game-winning field goal, like looking for field position, have his quarterback dance around and take a knee. They're always going to punch it in, you know. I mean, he's rarely in that position, but I mean, even that national championship game against Georgia, threw it deep into the corner of the end zone. That's the answer.
So today over at Pick Dogs, guys, I've got 16 selections. Yesterday I was 7-4 on 11 plays. Today we've got 16. I've got 1 in hockey, 2 in the NBA, including my NBA game of the month for November. I've got 6 in college basketball. Yesterday I swept the board in college basketball, going 4-0. And then I've got 7 in college football. Yesterday I was 2-1. The featured play today, I've got my Big Ten conference game of the year. And I also have my Pac-12 conference game of the week. So it's a decent day all around on this Saturday.
Michael Santoro says he doesn't believe that Brian Kelly is a run-it-up guy. I guess you didn't see the Navy game. Like, they totally run it up.
That's true.
What are you talking about? He's a total run-it-up guy, and he was at Cincinnati too. He's always been a run-it-up guy. He's always been.
You mean the Navy game this year, the 34-6 game?
Yes.
That wasn't really a run-it.
I thought he piled on a couple.
I
thought he piled on some extra points at the end. I think they scored a touchdown.
I think Navy was just gassed. I mean, Navy couldn't stop anyone even if they wanted to that game. That wasn't as much piling up as just Navy was dead.
Maybe I was bitter because I had Navy, but you know, I was.
I mean, when I was watching, that's what I saw. I just saw Navy just was gassed.
I don't know. I think that Brian Kelly traditionally has run it up. He ran it up at Cincinnati to get this job. He ran it up when he was at Central Michigan, and he runs it up here. I think on Wisconsin he ran it up too, which is fine because they're a Big Ten team. I'll take it. But Notre Dame's definitely on my list of, they're in my evil trio. Notre Dame, Florida, and Ohio State. Those are my 3 teams I hate the most.
Well, the team I hate the most is Penn State. So,
but you've been to an Ohio State game, right? So you know what I'm talking about, right? It's miserable.
Yeah, I don't hate Ohio State though. I mean, I grew up in Pittsburgh. I hate Penn State.
I could see that. Pitt had some great teams back in the day. Great teams.
God, yeah.
The Tony Dorsett teams when he was Tony Dorsett, and then
that's right.
And before he became Tony Dorsett, he was Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Cowboys and he changed his name.
Yeah. Someone called him that and he said, "Oh, I like the way that sounds." So I just changed it. Changed the pronunciation. Those damn Reno teams.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you say?
Yeah, they were fun.
So, all right. Anything
I will
else?
talk to you guys tomorrow. Unless Michigan gets destroyed, then I'll probably just have the handicapper flu or something.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see it.
I hope
happening.
it does.
I don't either.
I really hope it does. Sorry, guys.
Well, we know what Ohio State does against Michigan with the way they've beaten them in recent years. So it's like if Jim Harbaugh can't figure this out, that they're going to run these crossing patterns on him, then he deserves to lose. But outside of that, Ohio State's defense, my guess is they're going to be on the field all frickin' day. I mean, they can't stop anything. And these guys actually, for the first time, Michigan has a good offensive line, and they have a good defense. It's like they have a good pass defense. I'm normally the most anti-Michigan, anti-Harbaugh guy. I mean, you hear me. You've sat here with me, for 13 weeks, But
yeah.
I don't think this is a good Ohio State team. I think this quarterback is overrated. I think everything is overrated. They have good wide receivers that get wide open, and this guy has had all day to throw because they haven't played a good team yet. The only time they played a good team, they feasted on them. If that Oregon game would have gone another thing, Ohio State would have never gotten any closer. That touchdown that the game ended on.
I completely agree.
But I don't see how Ohio State's defense, when you look at the body of work, and you look at who they've played, wow, you rung it up on Indiana. Congratulations. So did everybody else. So did everybody,
Yeah.
Everybody did. But it's like, I don't think that they've played a comparable schedule. They beat Michigan State 56-7. Michigan State was coming off of a loss. They were already down. They beat Purdue. They're not a ranked team. They beat Nebraska at Nebraska by 9. They beat Penn State at home by 9. They're 18.5-point favorites in that game. They beat Indiana 54-7. Congratulations. They beat Maryland 66-17. Everybody else, Iowa beat them by that. Rutgers 52-13. Akron, Tulsa, and then the loss to Oregon. And then when you look at Michigan, they beat Nebraska as well, and they beat Wisconsin 38-17. The game that Ohio State doesn't have on their schedule. And the game that they played against the Pac-12, they beat Washington 31-10. They're only 6.5-point favorites in that game. And they crushed them. They handled them. That Penn State game 2 weeks ago, that play to the tight end to win it, that's just not Harbaugh-like, This could be their year. You take out that loss to Michigan State, this could have really been something for these guys.
Well, all that matters is what happens, in a couple hours.
Yep, I like the
absolutely.
Good luck, Joe.
They took care of business.
Good luck, Al.
They played the Northern Illinois, beat them 63-10, and even that Western Michigan opener, where I gave Western Michigan a shot to beat them outright. They crushed them. Oh well, we'll see. I'm sure I'll lose. That's okay. I've never had Michigan before in this game, so. Well, not for a while. Actually, they did cover a few years ago, didn't they?
I think the last time they covered might have been Tim Biakabatuka or something.
No. I think that might have been the last time they beat them. But I think they covered a few years ago. The game, it went to overtime. Remember, they got the.
Oh, that was the 42-39 game?
Yeah, they got the horrible call on the. They gave them. Urban Meyer went for it. They acted like they were going to kick the field goal. And Urban Meyer was screaming on the sideline like the idiot that he is. And, they didn't bring the field goal unit. They went for it on fourth down. Michigan stuffed them, and they gave them the first down anyway.
Yeah.
What was his name again, that quarterback? He didn't go on to do anything.
I can't remember.
Can't remember his name either, but he played there for a long time. He was like a 7-8 year veteran for the Buckeyes.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Enjoy the games, Al.
Okay.
This is our day. Al McMorty, ready for that Michigan-Ohio State game. Of course, JT Barrett was the quarterback of that game. He was short of the first down. I actually had Ohio State in that game.
Oh, okay.
And, he was short of the first down. They gave him the first down. Ohio State ended up winning. Did not cover the spread in that game.
Wow.
That was Harbaugh's best chance so far.
Yeah, I can't wait for this game today. I'm going to be glued to my TV.
Well, we all will be. That's for sure. Except for me, I'll be in the studio for the first half shooting NFL videos. But let's see who else is here with us. We could bring in Jovan.
Absolutely.
Joe and I not agreeing on this Ohio State-Michigan. That's for sure.
No. I'm not bending on it.
She's not bending. She's holding on. Holding on.
I'll sit here, listen. Yes, they've had easiest schedule, but I think we've got a healthy team that is going to pull it together. And they hate Michigan. Michigan hates them. I think this is going to be a tough battle, but one the offense of Ohio State can get the win of.
But their defense is so bad.
And I know. This is going to be a high-scoring back-and-forth
Michigan's
battle.
defense is one of the top in the country, and they've played a much tougher schedule. So that's really the issues here. At least that's what I see. Jovan, welcome to the show. We're just battling it out here on Michigan, Ohio State. Joe's got the jersey on. Ohio State's in my trifecta of death, my three teams I hate the most. So you're never going to hear kind words about them, Notre Dame, or Florida from me. My other team, my fringe team, though, is Michigan. That is also in that trifecta. They're just outside the trifecta of death. The only reason they're not in the trifecta is that at least they played us. And, even though they refused to come to Miami to play us, at least they played us. And, when we beat them, their coach was he had a heart attack on the sideline to really, let us feel better about everything, It's like, hey, down by 15, 4.5 minutes left to play, and we had them right where we wanted them. It was like Beauchamp.
What about college basketball? I know they're in your trifecta of death in college basketball.
Oh, absolutely, because they are just the most overrated. There seems to always be a lot of value betting against Michigan in college basketball. At least last year there was, and this year so far as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, they took a couple losses already, so
Arizona beat the crap out of them.
Yeah,
they beat the.
They don't have a couple of the veteran guys that they had last year, which kept them afloat. So they're kind of thin.
What I didn't understand last year was that about last year's team was that this is the way the Michigan. Here's why I don't like these programs. Okay. So Michigan, the reason why I don't like Michigan is that here's an athletic program that they have everything. They have everything. They have a booster base. They have money, more money than like most of the corporations in the world. That's how much money they have. I think like some of these colleges, I know that some of these colleges have more money than like IBM, like way more, They have all that stuff. They have the top recruits every single year. They've done nothing with it. They act like they have, like they're this elite program. You've got nothing to show for it. You've got half a national championship in the last 50 years. And it's like that half a national championship that you won in football over the last 50 years. Trust me, if you played the team that won the other half, you wouldn't have that half. You would have gotten whooped because Michigan had the chance before there was the playoff, before there was any stuff. And Michigan's been to exactly 0 playoffs. Before there was that, Nebraska said to them, we'll play you. You don't have to go to the Rose Bowl. We'll play you. Oregon was 6-5 that year. And they went and played Oregon in the Rose Bowl, the Desmond Howard, right? That was the year. And they instead of playing Nebraska, meanwhile, that Tommy Frazier Nebraska team, they beat us in the Orange Bowl. And we had Sapp, Ray Lewis that year. They beat us. We were up in the fourth quarter. They came back on us with Sapp and Ray Lewis and a whole host of other NFL stars. And the next year, they beat Florida 56-17 in the national championship. They won back-to-backers 3 out of 4 years. They would have crushed Michigan. And these guys act like, we're disappointed we haven't. It's like, you've done nothing. You've had everything and did nothing with it. You got one of the best stadiums in college football, best traditions. You have some of the best, you have great colors, even the helmets, right? It's like, got everything. You got the benefit of the doubt. Even when you lose, they act like you won. All right. I digress. What do you got going on? It's college football Saturday. It's rivalry week. What do you got today, Jovan?
Yeah, we're gonna go check out the ACC real quick. Go to the Carrier Dome where Pitt's playing Syracuse, and I'm on Syracuse in this one. Syracuse they're 5-6. Bowl eligible with a win, but it's been like this for the past couple weeks, and they lost on the road in both those games and both those spots. But maybe third time's a charm. So one thing I like a couple of things about Syracuse. They got a top 30 defense, and they do it on all 3 levels. Defensive line, linebacker core, and the secondary. And they could also run the ball. They're top 10 in the country, and running the ball. The main reason why I like them is because they cover the games. They're 8-3 against the spread. 6-1 in the last 7 following a straight up loss, and 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 home games. Now they're playing Pittsburgh. They got a hell of a quarterback, Kenny Pickett. He just throws it, all over the lot. But he might be stretched a little bit too thin. They don't run the ball. They're not a run team. So I think that in this game, they're going to need to, at least put up some sort of representation of a run game. And I don't know if they're going to do that. So, with that said, in their last 4 meetings, it's been decided by 11 points, 7 points twice, and 3 points. And just, with the home dog situation, I don't know if you could call these two teams rivals, maybe from their old Big East days, but I would say that Syracuse and Boston College would be rivals, but whatever. Um, I'm rolling with Syracuse.
Joe Dino Babers probably on the hot seat here at Syracuse. My guess is he needs a win, and I don't even know if that's going to do it. Going to be a lot of head coaching vacancies.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of heads on the axe today. You know what? I'm a little bit worried about Syracuse just with what we've seen out of their defense in the last couple of games. I'm not going to take a side in this because I could see it going either way. If Syracuse can fix those holes on their defense, and just stop Pittsburgh in some situations, I think they could keep this one tight. But I like the over in this one. I think what we're seeing out of both of these teams is Syracuse totally falls apart. Pittsburgh's going to run this up. They could get over this total themselves. They average 43.9 points per game. And Syracuse has given up 41 points in each of their last games. So I'm loving the over in this. I'm going to stay away from a side because I would love to see Syracuse with a home win here.
Awesome sign on game day right now. It says, I don't speak to Ohio State graduates, but when I do, I ask for large fries.
I'm going to have to start posting those Michigan ones.
There's tons of both.
Man, that's a good one, though.
There's tons of both. There's tons of both. But I've heard all the songs. I've heard all the stuff. I've lived in Ohio. But, I just think that for me in this one, it's either Syracuse money line or nothing. I think they'll probably cover, no problem. But it's like I think they have a good shot on the money line here to beat them. Pitt is vulnerable. We saw them lose, to Miami. We saw them lose. They lost to who? They lose to Western Michigan or something. It's like
about 7.
Yeah, it's not like they're unbeatable. And it's not like I think that Pickett is a good quarterback, but I think in a normal year he would not even be considered like one of the top quarterbacks in college football. It's kind of like the Jared Goff year, when he came out, or the Mitch Trubisky year, where these guys come out and they're like elevated to this level simply because there's nobody else. But it's like you're better up, tanking it for 3 more years and getting Arch Manning, when he comes out of Ole Miss, or even though he hasn't said he's going Ole Miss, he's going Ole Miss. But, like hold out for it, it's like, it's worth it, because it's like, it'd be good for a while. But I don't know. I think Syracuse has what it takes, I think, in the Dome. And I think Pitt, to me, is kind of, they're vanilla. Nothing too exciting there. They have a couple of really nice players, but outside of that, not a very good team. It's a down year for the ACC.
It sure is.
I've never heard you call a team vanilla before, Mitch, and I love it.
Well, because they are, because there's just nothing.
They are.
There's nothing exciting about this team. And they tried to make it with this quarterback Pickett exciting, but he's not that good. It's not like he's threading the needle and throwing darts down the field. The Ohio State quarterback, I mean, he's got 10 hours to sit back there and do it, but at least he's throwing them down the field like that. And, Stroud, the Alabama quarterback as well, but not seeing this from this guy, the things that would make him a great NFL QB. Like we knew that Allen was going to be a great QB at Wyoming because the way that he was like a pinball machine out there, He'd get hit and like bounce off. He's pushing the defender, so it's like throwing the ball with a guy hanging on his leg. I mean, you knew he was going to be tough, and it's like, and then he would shake the guy off. Nobody there. He's got the ball when he's running down the field, stiff arming guys. And this guy, he doesn't have that thing. He's kind of just this generic quarterback, more like a Rick Mirer type, I don't know.
Sheesh, Rick Mirer.
Yeah. It's
not a compliment.
No, not at all. I think that's where someone was going. I've been wrong before on quarterbacks. I didn't like the Patrick Mahomes draft pick, but I also thought that, Wentz, Trubisky, and Goff were all horrible picks. And I thought that Deshaun Watson should have been taken number 1 overall. But that's just me. I like the guys who win, That's why I thought Mac Jones was a better pick than Trey Lance for the 49ers. I thought he would have been a better pick there. I like
it's
guys
a good place
win.
to start by winning.
Yeah, the guys that know how to win. Knowing how to win is a good thing. and it looks like a miserable day in Michigan today. It looks very, very cold. Might have to watch this one out by the pool.
Just to feel warm, eh?
I'm freezing just looking at it. It's like it was. I was walking the dog last night. I was like, man, it feels chilly. My wife looked at her phone. It's 74 degrees. It's like,
Wow.
a little chilly.
Wow. When I was standing on a snow pile and couldn't feel my feet last night, I tell you, that was cold.
What do you got for sale today, Jovan?
Just my regular deal. Our Saturday shootout, all day rivalry 9-pack. 9 plays that I think that you're gonna enjoy if you pick it up. $49.99. I'm gonna look at a couple basketball games that I'd make a decision on whether I'm gonna put that out as premium picks. But that's it. It's football all day, wall to wall.
Wow, we do have a cold front coming in here. It's gonna be a high of 82 on Monday.
Oh, wow. You got such a rough life in Hawaii.
It's gonna be pretty tough.
Don't know what you're gonna do with that weather. Light the fire.
Yeah, might as well we gotta get one of those pits going in the front yard.
Yeah. Put the long johns on and
Yep.
you're good to go.
Make a big pot of chili. Well, thanks, Jovan, for joining us and make it a winning day. We'll see you tomorrow for NFL Sunday, week 12
Absolutely.
of NFL.
You know it. See you tomorrow.
Jovan
Best
Burtz.
of luck, Jovan.
He's had a great college football season. He's been on the leaderboard all season long.
Absolutely. He's killing it.
Gal.
Yeah.
What do we got next? Ruffalo? Guess so.
Yeah. Hopefully he brought the donuts today and is going to share.
I can't see everybody. Let me see. Got Chris Ruffalo. Let's see what we got. Can't. It's hard to say I can't find Ruffalo, but no one's ever said that before. It's our hide and seek champion.
I definitely love Chris's last name. What a fun name Ruffalo is.
Oh, yeah. It's.
Yeah. I Ruffaloed something on the parent bus yesterday, just so you know. It asked a question. I said, I'd take a Ruffalo on that. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, oh, well, you haven't watched the shows. It's now a common term in my life.
Well, it grows on you.
Absolutely does. At first, I thought you guys are crazy. Now I completely understand it.
Chris, welcome to the show. Chris has been doing college basketball videos with me. It's like I've gone to the divide and conquer on the videos. I finally have caved in a little bit. I've been doing all the videos at Pick Dogs, and it's like I think Chris had been doing a good job on the hockey and the soccer videos, the two sports that I don't cover. And what we've done is we've moved Chris to the college basketball because there's so many games, and it's like I don't want to. I want to do a ton of videos, but in order to do them, in order to cover all of the good games, especially once conference play starts, even with two of us, it's going to be a struggle, I believe. So it's like, we've moved Chris to doing that. We're moving him out of soccer, which I know he loves doing, but Chris is going to be hosting our live soccer show on Saturdays and Sundays. Joe will be doing it on the weekdays, which is going to be interesting because she knows nothing about soccer.
Absolutely nothing at all, you guys.
So she's gonna have fun, and it'll be Ashley and Goran. They know a ton about soccer, so it'll be those two with Joe on the weekdays on our soccer show. Chris will be hosting on the weekends. That show I believe is gonna be 9 a.m. before this show. So it'll be I don't know how long the show is gonna run. Well, Chris will be on it, so it's scheduled for 15 to 30 minutes, but with Chris probably run 45 minutes plus. Go on a filibuster about Lazio.
The only reason we would go on a filibuster about Lazio is because we probably figured you'd be watching. So,
Goran, he picked Lazio in the video yesterday. I was like, gave him the stink eye. It's like, yeah, but Yeah,
We
so
said we're getting you a Lazio jersey with your name on it for Christmas.
we're shuffling things around. I think one of the things that we really want to do is, that we have on tap, and it's like I'm just not sure how to fit it in, is probably an afternoon hockey show of some kind of after the goalie changes. I just don't know what time all that stuff happens when they announce, when we finally will know who the starting goalies
There
are.
are some teams that don't till right before the game.
Well, we're not going to have a show. We're not going to have a show that does that then, but we'll have a show for the later announcements. So we know the lineups and our better look at it in the afternoon. That would be the trio of Canadians probably on that one with the Puck Dogs and Joe.
That will be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, we're looking at you, Gerard Gallant, not putting your goalie out till 5 minutes before puck drop. Yeah, we're looking at you.
But if we have,
it's ridiculous. They do it on purpose. They're trying to ice the other team, not us. But come on, they know who they're playing the day before. Give us a break.
I think the only time we can really get an advantage on that is when you watch a team play on a back-to-back, because then it's not going to be one person. It's at least going to be the other option.
What do you got cooking today, Chris?
In the kitchen or on the football field?
Both.
There's a couple different answers.
Both.
The kitchen. I could tell you there's a lot of different pots on the stove right now. Chili. There's a pot roast. There's a lot going on here today. But for the gridiron, I'm looking at this Oregon matchup, the Civil War, and if we were talking about it last week sometimes that Utah's just where playoff hopes go to die, and that was simply the case with Oregon last week as the Ducks just fell flat against the Utes. And at home, I know that Oregon's going to be a popular pick, but we talked about it with Tony T on the drive-through yesterday when we were talking to Rod about the Apple Cup game. You're starting to see some of these newer fresh faces at quarterback in the Pac-12 come alive. You see Jaden DeLora at Washington State. For me, I also like Chance Nolan at Oregon State. I think this Oregon State team is going to be a team to watch over the next few seasons, and I think they have a chance to open some eyes today. I'm just not overly enthused with Oregon's offense right now. Anthony Brown, not not my ideal quarterback, and I'd like Oregon's offense a lot better if they had the two-headed monster at running back with Travis Dye and C.J. Verdell, but unfortunately Verdell's still out for the season with that leg injury. So. I think Oregon State has a chance to make some plays and keep themselves in it and, potentially give themselves a chance to win it outright. And I do think they win this game outright. I'm taking Oregon State on the money line in this one. I think that Oregon's just left picking up the pieces in a rivalry game to finish the year, probably not the spot they want to be in.
Joe?
This is going to be a battle. I'm really excited to watch this game. I think this game is going to be tighter than the number, so I'm with you on Oregon State. Not sure if I can jump on them on the money line. Would love to see the Ducks win. That's why. But I think it's going to be a really tight game, 3-point game at the most. So give me Oregon State plus the points.
I like Oregon State as well. I just think it looks a little on the square side, though. I think, it's a public dog. And that I always have a little bit of a problem with here. And that's one thing that, try and avoid the stepping in it, as they say. But, when you look at the alternative, it's not there. And I think the interesting thing is that this thing has a 3:30 Eastern time start. It's going to be raining. These teams hate each other's guts. There's going to be penalties that swing this game. Probably be a lot of offsetting penalties in this one, too. This is one of the rivalry games, the Civil War, one that they tried to stop the game and tried to not have the rivalry anymore between Oregon and Oregon State because it does get out of hand. It gets way out of hand, and that's the way we like it. But unfortunately, there are people that don't like it. So I think that they'll probably tame it down because I think everyone's expecting it. So it's like the refs will be calling this one tight from the start, trying to keep it under control. I think it'll be interesting to see if Miami plays Duke today. That game is at 12:30. Be interesting to see if Manny Diaz is fired immediately after the game or if they wait. Because if he is fired after the game, my guess is after this game, Mario Cristobal will step down as the coach of Oregon and take the Miami job. It's probably what's going to happen.
That wouldn't be a bad pickup for the Hurricanes, I don't think.
Well, he's a Hurricane, So it's like, you know, he played for Miami. He's been assistant coach at Miami. He's from Miami. You know, he's just, this is, you know, he's the next coach of the Miami Hurricanes. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. I'd be absolutely shocked if he wasn't. But we'd welcome him home with open arms. Been a winner everywhere he's been. National championship as a player. National championship as a coach at Alabama. What more do you want? Anyways, Chris, what are you selling today?
For me, I have a little bit of everything today, but my biggest stuff, I got college football. I got my Saturday touchdown 7-pack. I scoured the board, and these are the 7 plays from noon till night that I absolutely love. So definitely check those out. I'm just in the process of finishing up my college basketball pass for today. I was waiting for a couple lines to come out, but now we're going to have that up as well. It's definitely a couple passes that you want to check out if you're just looking for today's action. But you know, we always mention it. This is the time to hop on long term because all the sports are starting to bleed together. You know, starting to get the most bang for your buck with all the sports that's going on, and whether it's 3 days, 7 days, 30, all the way up to a year. It's some of your best value, as well as the 2-for-1 capper deal or the season passes that are all up on the website. So make sure you go and check them out over at Pick Dogs Premium.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'll try to remember the donuts this time.
All right.
Best of luck today, Chris. Enjoy the games.
You guys too. Take care.
Chris Ruffalo, we're just about a month away from Ruffalo Day.
Do you think he's going to Ruffalo it again? Do you think this is going to be like a yearly tradition for him?
Christmas Eve? We don't know who the game is going to be yet, so, I mean, it's possible that he'll pull Ruffalo. Is Christmas on a Saturday this year? I think it is. I think it is.
I'd have to pull up my calendar here.
We'll have our Christmas show.
Christmas is on a Saturday.
Yeah. We'll have our Christmas show. That'll be fun. That'll be festive. That'll be good times. I think I have a snow. The snow frame. I haven't used it in a long time. I'll have to find it. But,
the snow theme?
Yeah, I have it snows on the set.
Oh, nice.
I have it. I have to find it. I have my Christmas lights. I got everything.
Looks like the flurries are starting here. It's already starting for you, Mitch. Ahead of the time.
Not here.
I know. 84 degrees, 72. You're getting cold.
Well, it was 82.
82. Sorry.
But,
let me get that right.
My wife was like, we're walking the dog. She's like, just go home. It's saying,
Stop complaining, go home.
It's freezing. Anyways, we'll bring in Rod. Got, of course, Rod's with us on the morning show. Every day. Where is his name? There we go. Put everyone in order. There we go. Rod, welcome.
Morning.
Coming off of that tough one last night. I don't see the Zags hat anywhere in sight here after last night's game, but it's a long season.
After what I did yesterday, I can take one loss. I went 7-2. One loss as being the Zags. I can handle that. I'm not going to dwell in points on one game that the Zags lost.
I will.
Yeah, I know you will, but I won't.
I will.
I went 7-2 on the day, and it was a great day, and it's been a great month. So let's continue getting winners. Let me get out here. One loss is not going to make or break me. That's for sure. Not in this day and age. Nope. Not after you got 7 winners to go behind that one loss. So.
Yeah, but it's your team. You know, that's the beauty of it. Anyways, what do you got going
you tell me that's my team.
What's
I really don't have a side in college hoops. I have I'm not a one guy, one team. That's you telling me that I'm on the Zags.
Well, last year you said it was your team. That they're the ones that are closest to you.
No, I was on Illinois. Remember, I was on Illinois first, and then I jumped off Illinois after the loss, and then I went to the Zags. Right?
But then you said Gonzaga.
There was no way that I was on the Zags train all season long. They're not my team. I think I even remember. We could probably go back and watch that video.
Yeah, I think
saying that I hated Zags because that's all I get to see on TV because they're always on TV. That's all they show here. I can tell you the only college basketball hoops that was on TV yesterday was the Zags game. That's all we get in Canada.
So they're your team.
That's all we get down here in this end of the country is the Zags game and the Seattle Seahawks.
So what you're trying to say is that they're your team? Is that what's going on?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're about as much as your team as Michigan State is Michigan's your team, right? They're your team? Is that your team? Or just today?
Well, I don't have a Michigan hat, and I don't, wear.
Well, I don't own a Michigan hat either.
Anything, or But
that doesn't mean just because you have a hat of a team, that doesn't mean they're your team.
I don't know. 2 days ago, you were saying they was the best team they had, and we are gonna win. And
they are better than last season.
Okay.
We'll see what happens in the tournament. One game is not gonna. Teams are gonna lose. Let's put it that way. No one's going undefeated, perfect season here this season in college hoops.
Well, not after yesterday. Anyways, who do you got today?
Today, for me, we're gonna go with this college football hoops game. We're going SMU versus Tulsa because I can't go my usual Cougars. They won yesterday. They won the Apple Cup for a change. How about that one? That was a good one. Total beatdown of Washington. They didn't even come close in that one. They didn't even get a sniff. Anyways, we're going to look at this. We got Tulsa looking to make themselves bowl eligible here against SMU. They've won 2 straight games. SMU 1-3 their last 4, but they're at home in this game. When are they going to come to play? I think this SMU defense comes and shuts down Tulsa and their offense. Causes them to make some mistakes. I think this Davis Brin at QB, he's already given up 14 interceptions on the season. I'm quite sure that SMU can force him into making some more mistakes in this one. I'm going to lay the -6.5 with SMU. I think they can easily get a touchdown win. You look at SMU; they're perfect at home on the season. 5-0, 5-0 against the number. SMU 6-0 ATS, their last 6 at home. So that's including going back to last season. This is also a revenge game. Tulsa beat SMU 28-24 the last time these two teams met. You look at Tulsa; they're 1-6 ATS, their last 7 after scoring 40 points in a previous game. Giving SMU to stay perfect at home over Tulsa in this one.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you, Rod. I think SMU runs away with this one. I'm also looking for a higher scoring game because I think Tulsa can get the points on the board as well. So give me the over and give me SMU minus the points.
Tulsa's got a lot to play for here. They need this one to go to a bowl game. They certainly have been in against everybody, and it's like I have to give them a puncher's chance here. SMU hasn't looked their best. I know it's senior day for them, but Tulsa 5-6 needs a win. They're not going to get it. If they need to get 5-win teams into the bowls because they don't have enough teams. Tulsa's not going to be one of those teams that makes it. They haven't fared all that well against the big boys, but they played Cincinnati fairly tough, 28-20. They also played Ohio State really tough, too, and that one was in Columbus. I think Tulsa's got a puncher's chance here. I'll take my shot with the Hurricanes on the money line. They also played Oklahoma State. I mean, these guys have been in against everybody. Something to be said about that. I like
What's a payout on the money line, Mitch? I like that.
Probably.
I think SMU should, but on that money line, it's got to be what, plus 240?
Something. I don't know. Definitely.
Not even plus. Not even 2 times your money.
No?
Just losing bet there. Take SMU. You just jumped trade, so now you're on Tulsa? Nice.
No, I'm not, but I really like the value on that.
Then why did you agree with it? Yay!
I didn't agree. I said I still think SMU takes this, but I would be interested in what Tulsa is on the money line because I could see them coming out and pulling that out. That's why I do like the over as well in this because I don't think it's a given for SMU, even though I think they should.
They can't outscore SMU. That's the problem here. I like the over. I agree with you. We're going to hit a higher scoring game. Tulsa just can't outscore SMU. That's what this game comes down to. So SMU's offense is better than Tulsa, hands down.
Tulsa's been in against some tough company.
Oh, I know. But your quarterback loves to throw interceptions. So
terrible.
He'll give it up.
Terrible. But it's like college football, a little different.
Fred will throw it away and give SMU the win. I don't trust him. I have to put my money on Tulsa.
It's just a value play.
Yeah, it's.
All right. Well, what are you selling today?
If anything, it's a 3-point game. So your value would be taking the points, not the money line in that one. But give me SMU.
I don't know. I can bet my money.
Oh, you can bet whatever you desire.
What do you like today, Rod? What do you got for sale?
And for me, today we got a big pack of everything. I've got a 5-pack of college football. I've got a 3-pack of college hoops, and I've got a 3-pack of hockey. We're off a nice 7-2 day yesterday, up over 1,900 units the last month. So jump aboard. You find it all over at Pick Dogs Premium, whatever sports you like, or you can get it all together in one big giant package. So jump on over. Been rolling along and making money.
All right, Rod on the heater. We'll see Rod in just a moment on the premium and VIP shows. Well, Joe, just one more guest left to go. That's I think you could make a case. I think, SMU clearly the better team there. I mean, that's not really it. But the thing is that Tulsa, they need it. They absolutely need it.
They need
and it's
it.
like, it's not like SMU is this world beater. They're not like, they're not Alabama or something, or Georgia. It's like it's SMU. It's like it's like they throw a ball. It's like, so it's plus 195 on the money line. So $250 pays $487.
So for me in that situation, I'd like to take Tulsa on the money line and then find another dog that I think has a chance where it's not like completely a given that they come out. No way. No, Michigan.
Duke against Miami, 21. I would take that.
Right? I don't know. Find something else like that where you're pretty sure the other team's going to win, but there's value taking that dog because the teams they have played and what they have done, and the other team just not being like an Alabama kind of team. No easy win for SMU today, even though I think they get it, but it's not going to be easy.
All right, well, let's see if we can bring Brian in. We got to get rolling.
Awesome.
But I know Brian was the only one of our handicappers. I didn't have a play on the game, but Brian was the only handicapper that had a pick on. That was the only handicapper that took Duke yesterday. Out of all of our cappers, several cappers had plays on the games, but Brian was the only one who took Duke. And he did not have him on the money line because he doesn't do that. He's a little too wimpy to do that, but that's besides the point. He still got the winner with the points, which was still better than everybody else did. Brian, welcome.
I got to admit that I thought it was the worst play on my card, and I was worried about it when I saw it go to +9. But, I was on Gonzaga against UCLA. I just felt like this was a game Duke was just going to go all out to win. I didn't think that they would win. I was hoping for a cover there.
I think what we've seen in college hoops in these tournaments, and I'm not saying in the regular season games, where we've already seen a ton of upsets too, big upsets in the regular season. But in these tournaments, we saw what we see in March. The great coaches get it done. They know how to get it done. Even when they're outmanned. In college hoops, you can create a strategy and create a game plan. If your guys hit a couple shots for you, it can happen, and that's what makes college basketball that sport that, people quit betting over. That's what it is.
I know you were busy with videos yesterday, but I thought a real superb college basketball game, the Penn State LSU game. I was a little worried when it went to overtime, but you could see Penn State is a competing Big Ten team, and I could see them making a push maybe for the tournament.
It was surprising to me because, I didn't have a premium play, but I did give it out on the premium pick show. So I didn't have, one of my on-site premium picks on LSU. But I just thought they were going to be too athletic because Penn State had lost so many players to the portal.
Their athletes are just tremendous on LSU, just watching them.
Yeah, but Penn State lost, their top guys all went in the portal and are all on other teams. So it was when you have to rebuild like that, you're not really sure what you're going to get. So maybe they've ended up better on the other side. It happens, Sometimes you end up better off without these guys. These were the guys that were weighing you down. Like Arizona State, as bad as they, not as bad. They didn't even look that bad, but they lost, all their games in that tournament. But they were competitive in most of them. And they were way better than they were last year, considering all their players transferred out. And, just a different style of team. Some of these other teams that we see, with the transfers and the coaching changes, who knows? But
I better end my filibuster and get to my pick since it's almost 12 o'clock.
All right, well, go ahead.
Anyway, for me, one of the biggest rivalries in the college football, Florida and Florida State. I look forward to this game every single year, along with Michigan and Ohio State. I think both teams need a win here to be bowl eligible. Florida is off a shocking loss to Missouri as a 9.5-point favorite. Florida State has been the hotter team down the stretch, winning 2 straight, but they are a very bad covering core team. They're just 2-9 against the spread the last 11 non-conference games, and just 4-10-1 last 15 on the road. The favorite in this series has dominated, going 16-4 against the spread last 20 meetings between these two teams. I just think Florida is the better team. They haven't played like it this season as far as their record goes, but I think they dominate the Seminoles today. I'm going to take Florida and lay the points.
Joe?
I think we're going to have just a hard-fought battle in this one. I'm liking the under. When we look at Florida State, 7 of their last 10 have hit that under, and 3 of their last 4 road games. I really think this is going to be a solid under here, and I'm wondering how Florida is going to come out without head coach Dan Mullen, who was fired. Greg Knox, interim head coach. How do you guys think they will perform under him? Interested.
Maybe a little bit of a relief, maybe they'll play better. You never know. It's kind of a crapshoot. Yeah.
Well, he's definitely, he comes from the Mullen line of coaching, so you're going to see a lot of the same that you've seen from Florida, which is underachieving, underperforming, and just some sad-ass play that lost to Missouri.
Seminoles have underperformed.
They gave up 56 points against Stanford. 56 against
them.
Samford, not Stanford. Samford.
Yeah, Stanford. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Joe, who do you like here?
I'm going to stick with that under.
I'm going with Florida State in this one, money line. They're just the hotter team right now. They can't seem to have drawn a line in the sand. We saw glimpses of what Florida State could do early in the season in that opener against Notre Dame, and then they kind of fell off the map. They lost to Jacksonville State, and then they lost some other games. They lost badly in games that I know the Sharps gave them a chance at against like Wake Forest and stuff, where they were clearly overmatched. But over the course of the season, what we've seen from Florida State is that these guys are so damn fast. Both these teams are so much faster than most of the other teams in the country. And that's the whole thing, is that Miami, Florida, and Florida State, where none of these teams are ranked, it's unforgivable, because you'll see, these 3 teams will have more players in the NFL than everybody else over the next, 10 years, because that's what they do, because the players are so much faster than all of these other programs. So I think that Florida State, what they're able to do, they've been able to finally get the guys on their team that can move the ball, and mostly it's the quarterback. And I think he's going to cause fits for this Gator team that just really can't do anything. I like Florida State in this one. I think they win at money line. I think they're playing better football right now. They beat Miami. They beat Florida. You win the state of Florida, and
who hasn't beat Miami?
Congratulations. Well, Pitt didn't.
I'm just messing with you.
NC State didn't.
No. Yeah, Miami's not bad. I'm just playing.
I mean, their coach.
But Florida also hung with Alabama,
fired,
one of the most talented teams in the nation. They hung with Alabama, almost beat them.
Yeah, and then they gave a 56 to Stanford. They lost at Missouri. They lost to Kentucky. They lost bad against Georgia in their rivalry game. Their coach, they were so good this year. Their coach had just signed an extension. That's $65 million guaranteed in dead money they were willing to take the hit on. That's how bad it was. Ron Romanelli, who'll be back with us tomorrow, was like, well, no one cares about football anymore, so nothing's going to happen. It's like, that's the problem. When in Gainesville, you don't care about football, someone's getting fired. And, I'm telling you, unless there's like a serious problem there, you don't eat that kind of money. But I like Florida State here. I just, this game, it's a sad year for college football that none of the big 3 Florida schools are ranked. It's probably the first time it's ever happened in the last 50 years.
Yeah, this isn't a big wager for me today.
It's a coin flip game. I mean, Florida has better athletes this year, but Florida State's playing better coming in. And I think they both need it for a bowl, right? So
They both do. Yeah, the winner should go to a bowl. So.
I think if Florida loses, they probably still go to a bowl if there's
not a 5-7.
If there's an opening. Florida and Texas will probably both go to bowls. It's snowing now in Ann Arbor for this Michigan game. But what do you got for sale today?
All right, off of 4 in one day yesterday, I'm going to try to keep the winning going. I've been, me and Rod, a lot of the guys tearing it up, consistently winning. I got my college football 3-pack. One of those games is early, so you got to hurry up to get that. $40 at pickdogs.com. Or you wait later in the evening. I got my non-conference college football game of the month for $30. Or my NBA President's Choice, where I'm on a 18-8, 66% NBA run. So check it all out at pickdogs.com.
All right. Well, Brian, thanks for joining us as always. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Joe, always a pleasure. And we will see you guys tomorrow for NFL Sunday. Of course, triple halftimes as well. And VIP show, our premium show on the way, followed by the VIP. This is Mitch. Have a great day. Going to try and act more professional for the NFL show tomorrow. Promise.